Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Voyager Season 1, Episode 4, The Phage. This was a great episode. So, not counting the pilot, just episodes 2, 3, and 4, I'd say this is probably the best episode. And it kind of brings some new character traits in. It's just from the very beginning, we see Neelix basically taking over as chef of the ship with the galley and stuff. And it's kind of a funny moment where Captain Janeway is talking to Chakotay about, like, oh, what do you want for breakfast? Well, I'm going to have Eggs Benedict, and I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have that. And she's like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm field rations number 4. And it's just kind of showing how the ship is still kind of broken, and they have to conserve all of their power and just all of their utilities to make it through a 75-year journey, and how they can't really use the replicators for stuff like food. And so Neelix basically takes over Janeway's private dining hall, which is kind of weird that she has her own room just for food. And he's turned it into a galley, and it's like a mess hall at this point. So I really like that. The main point of this episode is the Vidiians, I think is what you called them, and we'll see them several times throughout the series, and they're basically this race who has a disease called the Phage, and it's just slowly eating away at them, almost like a cancer. And what they do is they go around to other life forms and steal their body parts and put it on themselves, and in this case they end up stealing Neelix's lungs. And so it's really kind of interesting to watch Neelix have to be in sickbay, and the doctor comes up with holographic lungs to kind of keep him temporarily alive. There's my dog, Little Bear. But overall, it's some great scenes for the Doctor as well, where he like slaps Tom Paris, and he's like, "See, holograms can do this," and it's pretty good. By the time we get to the end of the episode, Janeway finds the two Vidiians that have taken Neelix's lungs, and it turns out that they have already like put them into somebody, so they're already in use. And here's where it gets really interesting, because I've always compared Voyager to the Next Generation, whereas Deep Space Nine is always kind of that middle child. And Janeway says, like, you've put me in this position where I have to decide, do I let my crew member die because he doesn't have lungs, or do I take the lungs back and let your person die? And she actually ends up letting the guy keep them and let them go with the lungs, where I could see Captain Picard doing that as well. I have very little doubt that Sisko's like, nope, I'm taking them back, bye-bye, and just take the lungs away from him. But it's kind of interesting because we see the Vidiians like kind of insult the Doctor and talk about how primitive we are as a culture. And like the Doctor can't take anybody else's lungs and like augment them. Like Kes is totally willing to give up one of hers, but the Doctor's like, I can't surgically alter them because Neelix is the only kind of his species on ship, and I can't change other people's. Whereas the Vidiians are able to do this. And so at the end of the episode, Kes donates one of her lungs to give to Neelix, and so now they have that connection together. So overall, I thought it was a great episode. It was really interesting to kind of see all of the characters kind of bond together. It's interesting to watch Janeway make some of these tough decisions, and the Vidiians are one of the reoccurring species, so it's kind of interesting to see their first appearance in the show. For those who have seen this one, what did you think about it? What did you think about the tough decisions? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for The Cloud.